Last week, I spoke about the Raja Yoga and then the components of Raja Yoga, which were Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and meditation. And at the very end, I mentioned one other component, and I didn't really have enough time to complete those thoughts, so I wanted to continue. This fifth component is attunement. And this component is essential for real success in every part of life. Many times people think that you can be successful spiritually or you can be successful materially, but you can't do both. And certainly Krishna in the Gita says that it's more difficult to engage in the world, but it's also a higher path if you can accomplish it. God meant us to be in this world, created the creation, and put us all here to participate. So participation is not wrong. What's wrong is participating in a way that leads to suffering instead of joy. And one of the things that keeps us from experiencing joy is our involvement in restless outwardness. And the whole idea that the solutions to life take place outside of ourselves rather than within ourselves. So we're taught to reason. You're going to think your way out of a problem. But sometimes you can't come up with ideas. You can't come up with a solution in your mind to solve the problem in front of you. Many people who have dedicated themselves to medical breakthroughs spend years trying to figure out how to cure cancer, how to do this, how to do that. But it's interesting. When you read about the lives and the discoveries of most major discoverers, you find that as much as they thought about what they were doing, in the end there was some kind of inspiration that somehow came to them from beyond. Most of them will say that that beyond was God. But in any case, wherever that idea came from, some process, something happened that turned them from thinking about it, to somehow receiving a greater insight. And the process of attunement is how that happens. In fact, if you remember in the autobiography of a yogi, when Sri Yukteswar had Yoganandaji studying Patanjali. And they're studying Patanjali, and Yogananda is a young man who was playing the role of a young man who was actually an avatar. So we sort of have to take it the way he presented it. He was ready to go. He says, okay, let's do it. We're studying Patanjali. Let's go. And they would study a sloka, and then after a day or a week, he'd think, well, let's move on. After only, I think it says 8 or 9 months, something like that. In the beginning, Yogananda was saying, come on, we've done that one. And Sri Yukteswar would say, no, we don't have it yet. Go deeper, go more further into it. And so they would go and discover more understanding. And then they'd go to the next one, and Yogananda says, no, let's move forward. And no, there's more there. At the end of 8 or 9 months, they had not completed more than a relatively small number of the aphorisms. And then Sri Yukteswar says one day, okay, we're done. Yogananda goes, what? We've only done this many. He says, no, but you have learned to go to the essential truth of the sloka. And once you've learned how to do that, then you can know anything. Anything you didn't need to know In the aphorisms, Patanjali calls this Samyama. Samyama is attunement and absorption. Absorption in that which you seek to understand. The reaching out of your mind and your heart to unify yourself with the vibrational essence of whatever it is that you're seeking to be attuned to. Could be a problem, could be the food that you're eating. You want to know if the food is safe to eat? Attune yourself to it. You want to know if it has vitality? Attune yourself to it. If you want to understand the problem that you're having in a relationship, you have to free yourself from ego and reason and reach out inwardly and attune yourself to it. To touch it with your heart and your awareness without judgment. Why do we go to holy places? Because when we're there, when they have a power, and when we reach out and touch it, because some people go to holy places, they don't feel anything. But when you reach out and attune yourself to it, it's there. It can be very powerful. And this is the truth in every part of life. All of life, underneath the physicality, the materiality, is energy. That energy has qualities, and we can experience those qualities when we reach out with our spirit, with our vibrational essence, to reach out and to touch it. This is one of the great secrets of life, is that when you learn how to attune yourself to life and to whatever the situation, place might be, you will be able to touch truth at the center of it. When we recognize that for us, the center of the universe is a point of intuitive perception within our own hearts. Well, that center, remember, spirit is center everywhere. So the center for each of us is the same center. So all of life has the same center. It's like when you look at the gas stove, and it has all of the little flames, but they come from one source. When you connect to the source, you connect to all of the individual flames. When you connect to spirit within your own being, you're connecting to the spirit within all beings, within all life, every circumstance, everything. So if you want to know a new song, you want to create a great architecture, you want to paint a painting, you want to solve a relationship situation, you want to raise your children, you want to get a better job, it doesn't matter. Every aspect of life is centered in spirit. When we connect to spirit within our own selves and then reach out to touch that center in other things, then we will, like Yogananda did, learn to go to the central truth of any given issue in life. This ability, Samyama, the ability to absorb yourself. There's a fun story about this young man who came to his guru and said, "Sir, I'm having trouble meditating." And the guru said, "Well, what seems to be the problem?" He says, "Well, I've got a new pet buffalo. And the buffalo is so cute, and I'm just thinking about it all the time." And he said, the guru said, "Oh, okay, that's okay. Listen, go to the meditation room and think about your buffalo." "Oh, okay, I can do that." So he went into the meditation room and he began to think about the buffalo. And he made, all the horns were beautiful, and the coat was beautiful, and there's every aspect. And he just became completely involved in the buffalo. And he was in there a long time. And so the guru yelled out, "You okay in there? What's going on?" He said, "Oh, I'm playing with the buffalo. We're having a great time." And the guru says, "Okay, keep going." Well, after a very long time, the guru finally says, "Well, okay, you can come out now." And the boy said, What do you mean? I can't come out. My horns are too big. He had become the buffalo. He had entered into, Yoganandaji could taste through other people. He could taste what the flavor was in their mouth. He could, when he would sometimes focus on a great saint and wonder about them, they would sometimes materialize. We think that that's, well, we do think that that's pretty incredible, and then we think, oh, and he could do that because he was a master. And then, his answer to every people when they said, well, what do you think made me a master? I entered into this. I entered into this, and each of us has that potential. We aren't going to probably start by manifesting great saints to materialize in front of us, but we could. But we can begin to practice this attunement. And most importantly, we practice attunement in relationship to the Guru. And one of the ways that we do that is, well, when we look at the pictures of the masters, you look into their eyes. It's said that the eyes are the doorway to the soul. Enter into the eyes and begin to feel. Each of us, you should feel what it feels, the Yogananda essence, what that vibration, that unique expression of spirit feels like. Enter into that feeling. But you must be calm. As it said in the Gita reading earlier, you have to be calm. You can't do this with the restless mind. People who say, well, I've been praying to God. How are they praying to God? I want it, 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 I want it. That isn't the way to pray. The way to pray is to commune with God, and then offer your interest, offer your possibility. Lord, if this is Dharma, if this is in tune with your will, let it be so. Guide me. When we open ourselves up inwardly, we become, what happens when you attune yourself to the Guru, it's magnetism. We are an energy, like a piece of metal. And the Guru is a magnet. And the qualities of his consciousness, which are one with God, have a powerful magnetic effect on us. So when we attune ourselves, what happens is that the Guru's energy pattern of oneness begins to magnetize within us and align our inner energy, and there's a variety of things that are taking place. Everything from freeing us from past karma to some degree, but also to awakening and opening the inner channels through which our greater awareness can flow. In many ways, you could say this is a purifying process. The Guru's blessings cleanse us. They rain upon our souls and wash away the impurities and the misunderstandings. So attunement as a concept for relating to all of life is an essential component. It's Samyama, control, yama, control. It's something that we have to actively do. Actively participate in inwardly reaching out to feel the vibrational essence of everything in life. And particularly in meditation, do this with the Guru. Invite the Guru to enter into your life fully. Open every door in your heart and say, Lord, I have no private closets where I keep you out. I let you in everywhere. And then let the vibrations of the Master do its magic on your heart and in your soul. And through that attunement, you will find that you don't become subservient to the Guru, but you become freed from the ego. This is the path that we follow. Not to be servants, but to be masters of our own self. And in that mastery, we will follow in the very footsteps of the Master to oneness with God. Namaste.